Hi, my name is Shirley de la Cruz. This is English Medical Paralysis 1. I am going to talk about the brief report evidence for the Camel-to-Human transmission of the MERS coronavirus. Definition. The middle ear respiratory syndrome, or better than known as the MERS, the cough, is a viral respiratory disease which involves the first cough, the breathing difficulty, and usually pneumonia, but not in a case the gastrointestinal symptoms and in particular diarrhea have also been recorded.
You should know about MERS. MERS, or the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, is a viral respiratory illness that is caused by a coronavirus and was first identified in humans in Saudi Arabia in 2012. MERS is a zoonotic disease, which means that it is transmitted between animals and people. Dromedary camels, or one-humped camels, are the reservoir host for the MERS virus, and they are the main source of infection in humans. Infection can occur through either direct or indirect contact with infected dromedary camels. Human-to-human transmission is possible. There has been limited human-to-human transmission among family members in households. However, human-to-human transmission has repeatedly shown to be amplified in healthcare settings, especially when infection prevention and control measures are inadequate. Signs and symptoms of MERS are non-specific, with a clinical spectrum ranging from no symptoms or mild respiratory symptoms to severe acute respiratory disease and death. This makes it difficult to detect cases early and may lead to delays in isolation, testing and care, and the spread of the disease between people in healthcare settings. Currently, there is no specific treatment for MERS. It is supportive-based on clinical presentation. Infection prevention and control measures are critical to prevent the spread of human-to-human transmission in healthcare settings. They include standard precautions and triage procedures for all patients. Droplets and airborne precautions are required when performing aerosol-generating procedures.
Application in medicine. Biologic experts explain how the different experiments prove that the transmission of the MERS cough from animals, especially dromedaries, to the people, or in the certain the case from the person to person, is possible. Pros and cons.
7 things you need to know about MERS-CoV. What is MERS-CoV? It's the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome coronavirus. First reported in 2012, this strain of coronavirus causes acute respiratory illnesses in affected patients. While most cases have occurred in the Middle East, the virus has spread to other countries. There are 2 possible ways of transmission: from exposure to infected animals or humans. Those in close contact with infected patients have a higher risk of infection. Currently, there has been no evidence of sustained human-to-human transmission in the community or airborne transmission. What are the symptoms? They include fever, cough, and shortness of breath that might progress to a more severe acute respiratory illness. Here are some ways you can protect yourself and others. Observe good personal hygiene at all times. Wash your hands frequently. Wear a mask in crowded places and seek medical attention if you become unwell. Avoid consuming unpasteurized milk, undercooked meats, and eggs. Avoid contact with camels, poultry, birds, and other animals. Avoid close contact with persons suffering from acute respiratory infections. For now, there is no known cure, vaccine, or any specific antiviral treatment. Infected patients can get medical help to relieve the symptoms. The Ministry of Health and healthcare institutions have measures in place to monitor the situation and contain the spread of the virus should it emerge in Singapore. If you become unwell within 2 weeks of visiting countries with reported cases of MERS-CoV, wear a surgical mask and seek medical attention promptly. Inform your doctor of your travel.
Pro. Thanks to research, some the general preoccupation are the known, such as the several agents the measure that the must be taken in the case of the behind in a space next to the dromedary or infect the people such as the cons and the washing and avoiding the cons with them. On the other hand, express assure that it is a great precaution of the avoid the consumption of raw or the leader the cooking animal the product the such has the milk and meat since they carry a great risk. Approximately the 13.5% of the cases detected with the MERS the cough have the result in the death of the patient. On the other hand, the specific role of a dromedary in the transmission of the virus and its specific route of the transmission is unknown. In the same way, the specific treatment or the vaccine in the unknown, so there is no way to stop the infection definitively. Issue applied in Ecuador. It has not been possible to apply any type of medicine against the MERS cough in Ecuador. However, the different precautionary measures are taken into account to avoid the contagion in the country.
Or Middle East Respiratory Syndrome coronavirus, is the latest little-known virus to be making headlines globally. Symptoms include fever, cough, and shortness of breath. For many, those symptoms are followed by more severe complications, such as pneumonia and kidney failure. The World Health Organization estimates that 36% of infected patients have died from MERS. The first confirmed case was reported in Saudi Arabia in 2012. Contact with camels is believed to be the source of many human infections. Since then, cases have been reported in over 20 countries, including the US, Europe, Asia, and Africa. More than 1,200 people have been infected, of which more than 440 have died, with the vast majority of those deaths occurring in Saudi Arabia. Recently, MERS has infected close to 100 people in South Korea, with nearly 3,000 people in quarantine. However, that large number is primarily attributed to poor infection control within hospitals. Further spread of the virus could take a toll on South Korea's economy, the way SARS did throughout Asia a decade ago. Most at risk is the tourism industry, which accounts for 5.8% of the country's economic output. In fact, the Korea Tourism Organization reported about 25,000 people had already canceled trips to South Korea.
Conclusion. On the other hand, what is the specialty in public health and animal health, the clinical and aim of the guaranteed and exactly specific that allow us to better understand this is the virus and determine therapeutic treatment strategy.
Doctors have found evidence that suggests camels are indeed to blame for a deadly virus that has spread to humans. In fact, a research team at King Abdulaziz University in Saudi Arabia found identical viruses in a man who died of the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome or MERS and one of his camels.
The man reportedly fell sick after treating the camel for a runny nose. MERS, first detected back in 2012, is a fatal respiratory illness with flu-like symptoms. Some 680 cases of MERS have been confirmed in Saudi Arabia, and 282 people have died. The findings have been published in the New England Journal of Medicine.